Hello, students of class 9. Hope you have gone through the previous videos, whatever I've discussed. So, in the last video, we learned about some of the internet applications and social media, like a blog and all those things. Hope you understood. And here, we're going to learn about the basic components of a computer, the general things, as you already learned in your junior classes. I'm going to teach you some of those things now here. So the basic components of a computer includes input devices, output devices, the memory unit, control unit, all those. You will be able to see the picture now there. So you first whatever input you give into the computer is being processed and then we get it as an output. So for giving an input into the device, or giving an input to a computer, we need some of the input devices. So input unit examples given as keyboard, mouse, light pen, and joysticks. And for processing, we have a central processing unit which is called as CPU. And CPU is also known as the brain of the computer, because whatever process takes place is taking place only with the help of the central processing unit. Yes. And in the central processing unit, we have three different units called ALU, arithmetical logical unit, MU, which is memory unit, and CU, which is a control unit. So arithmetic logical unit, ALU, stands for all arithmetical and logical calculations, and control unit is responsible for controlling all the activities which is happening in the computer, and memory unit is responsible for saving all the files in one particular place. It may be primary memory or a secondary memory. Okay, so we'll discuss about the two types of memory. One is primary memory, the other one is secondary memory. So primary memory is nothing but which is already inbuilt in the computer, like RAM and ROM, and secondary memory is nothing but we use an external device for storing any of the data in the form of pen drive or CDs or floppy disk. Then you call it as a secondary memory. So why are we using secondary storage devices? It is an way of taking the backup of all the data, whatever is saved in the computer, isn't it? So that is why we need secondary storage devices. And sometimes you wanted to save more number of files or more number of data, more amount of data in secondary storage devices. You can have external hard disk, you can have external pen drives, so that your data will be safe and secure. Yes, so those are the classifications of the primary memory and the secondary memory. And the next is about the different peripherals which we use. Like apart from keyboard, we have different type of input devices, as you already know, like joystick is one of the input device, and speakers, microphones, scanners, and also barcode readers. All these are the some of the extra additional peripherals. You know what is an peripheral? Peripheral is nothing but an additional device that we use with the computer. Yes. And also we have discussed what an main component of a computer is: input unit, CPU, and the output unit. And we discussed about primary and secondary memory. So primary memory, as I already told you, it is basically an electronic memory which is already inbuilt. Secondary memory, you know what I've told you before. And also about various peripherals we have discussed. And the next thing we're going to learn about is the operating system. See, before you wanted to use a computer, you need a particular software so that you can make use of all the facilities that has been provided by that particular software. So that stands for an operating system. You can say that this software is mainly responsible for running a computer. Yes, and also it is acting as a bridge between the user and also the computer hardware. Because without the operating system, we'll not be able to communicate with the computer. Hardware is also important, and the operating system is also important in order to communicate with that. So what are the main job that has been done by the operating system? So it is responsible for creating a process is nothing but a job. And then for memory management, the operating system is responsible. And for terminating a job, the operating system is useful. And for managing the peripherals and to manage the disk space and to manage the job, the operating system is very much important. Okay. So some of the examples of the operating system would be Windows XP, Windows 10, Windows 2010, or Linux, Unix, so Linux, Unix, all these are some of the examples of the operating system. Next, we're going to learn the type of the operating system. So in that, the first one, what we're going to learn is time sharing operating system. See, whatever I told you about the operating system, like examples of operating system, those were the examples. Now we're going to discuss about the types of operating systems. So in that, the first one is time sharing. So in time sharing, what you'll be able to do is, this is nothing but an extension of a multi-programming. That means a number of users can operate online with the help of one CPU. Okay, but each user will have a different input and output terminal, but with the help of one CPU you will be able to manage the number of users. Then it is time sharing. And the next one is multi-processing. What is the meaning of multi-processing? Multi-programming is different, multi-processing is different. So multi-processing means when a computer system which have two or more processors can run more than one program. That means it can do more than one job at a time, assigning to a different processes. Then you call it as multi-processing. And the next one is multi-user operating system. The name itself will tell you that you're going to have multiple users for that particular operating system. That is, an operating system will allow the access of multiple users to the computer at the same time. For example, Windows and Linux are examples of multiple user operating system, because you can have two different users created, guest login, and your name also can create as a user, and then you can log into the multi-user operating system like an Windows operating system. We're going to learn about is GUI. This is also a type of an operating system which stands for graphical user interface. This will allow the user to have direct control of the icons which is appearing there in the computer. Well, like you can say that which is helping us to make use of icons, menus, pointers. For that, the best example would be Windows, because in Windows, whenever we open or whenever we start our computer, we'll be able to see the small icons which is present on the desktop screen. Yes, those are nothing but which is helping us to easily identify what an icon is generally representing. Say, for example, if it is a recycle bin, there is a dustbin symbol given to us. If it is my computer, you can see the computer icon which is present there on the screen. So this is nothing but a graphically represented pictorial representation of that particular icon. So that becomes graphical user interface, and this is one of the most user friendly operating system and makes our job very easier. So in graphical user interface, we'll be creating files and folders. Generally in MS, what is a Microsoft Windows 2007, whatever operating system we use, you know to differentiate between what is a file and a folder. See, if you have several files combined together in one particular place, then you call it as a folder. And file is an individual document or any kind of format where you have an individual thing, then you call it as a file. And you know how to use the mouse, because in mouse we have different type of operations, like we have right click, left click, and we have a scrolling button in the mouse which is helping us to select any of the options with the help of the mouse. Yes, so these are the different things that we wanted to know on this basic components of the computer. Like we have discussed about the input unit, central processing unit, and what all you have in the central processing unit, and also the other things like primary and secondary storage devices, what all comes, and primary and secondary storage devices, few examples of secondary storage devices. And we learned about what an operating system is and types of an operating system, and how to create a file and folder in Word, not in Word, in Windows, all the operating system, all these we have learned. Um, so these are some of the basic things that we have learned in basic ICT skills. And in the next chapter, we'll be learning about how to create a Word document with the help of MS Word. And I'll teach you how to do all such things in the next video. Okay, children, bye.